morning, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. On today's episode of the show, we're going to be breaking down week number 3 of the UFL, give you our predictions for week number 4 as we try to be the number one hub for all things UFL. So please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast if you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huffman. There's my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. And TJ, not only is it Breakdown UFL day, it's also WrestleMania week, my friend. I am super stoked for WrestleMania, and we will be doing our WrestleMania preview show on Friday. So keep an eye out for all that content. But happy Tuesday, TJ. How are you, man?
It's Tuesday. Haven't been asleep yet. All that good stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll try to rip through this and get through this as quick as painfully as we can as we talk about the UFL. What do you think about week number 3 as a whole before we get into each individual game?
More entertaining than I thought it would be, especially the what game was it that I said wasn't gonna be shit? I think it was the Memphis and Houston game. That was surprisingly more entertaining.
I mean, it came down to a failed 2-point conversion to tie the game or take the lead, and then the Showboats were unable to convert and they lose the game on that. So,
right,
yeah, so yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, let's talk about it. Week number 3. Let's first start with Friday Night Football. The Birmingham Stallions actually in a battle of the last 2 champions in spring football, with the Renegades being the champion of the XFL in 2023 and Stallions being the champions of the UFL in 2024. But the Stallions emerge victorious as they win this game 9-10. Just looking at some of the final numbers here. A lot of field goals. Obviously, we had 3 field goals for the Arlington squad and a touchdown by Matt Corral. And it's 1-point conversion in the fourth quarter with time ticking down as they go on to win this game. But yeah, Birmingham hasn't been nearly as sharp so far to start this season as they were last season. And you got to credit a lot to that, to losing Adrian Martinez. Just looking at some of the offensive numbers. Luis Perez, 26-38, no touchdowns, no picks. Khalil Balaj, 6-41. On the other side, Matt Corral, not at all what do you want to see when it comes to completion percentage. Get this, DJ. 19-41 for 255 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. That's good for 46% completion percentage. He also led the team in rushing for the Birmingham Stallions, who had a really dynamic rushing attack last year, kind of carried this team, but we haven't really seen a lot of that so far this year out of Birmingham.
Arlington was the more disciplined of the two. I think that's what makes this loss so much more frustrating. In the first half alone, Birmingham had 7 penalties. 7 in one half. It's teams that across any level of football. 7 penalties and a half. You in for a bad day at the office.
I mean, this goes back to kind of what we talk about, because we talk about this all the time in the NFL. I mean, if you get into the red zone, you need to punch that in for 7 or whatever the number is in the UFL that we pretend it matters. But 0-4 for Arlington, getting into the red zone, don't score a single touchdown in this game. They only score 3 field goals. And then, they win time possession. When you look at the metrics and the numbers on this game, Arlington should win. But
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Numbers wise, just off the penalties alone, that penalties, nothing time of possession, Arlington wins the game.
They had 9 minutes of total offense of time possession more than Arlington, and they won the turnover battle. How often do you see a team that wins the turnover battle or wins time of possession loses? That doesn't happen very often in any league.
It happened here. But it's like you said, when you can't get into the red zone, or when you get into the red zone and you can't score, that just left the door open long enough for Birmingham to get their ish together. And the beauty about that is Luis Perez is mic'd up, and he's like they're huddled up. He's telling the team like, "Hey, like we're all right. We got this." They're still like I think by this point I think they still had a lead, and he's like, "We're all right. We got this." And then you don't capitalize. Matt Corral was awful, but he was great when they needed him to be.
That's similar to what happened with Matt Corral last season in that game against Michigan Panthers last year. I mean, they put him in like he just So, but yeah,
So,
I mean, 19-41. That's just not going to cut it. And it's not good enough.
so like I said, it's Arlington really just kick. They got to be kicking. They probably gonna be kicking themselves till next week or till next game because you had this one. You had this game like there was nothing. You're looking at this game like Birmingham didn't do anything better than this game, and they won. Like you have to be like I know they had to be like kicking themselves,
and you don't score, and you don't score in the entire second half, and that's where games are won and lost.
And you don't score in the entire second half. Where that's tough. That's tough.
To Saturday afternoon, a little more of a back and forth affair between the Houston Roughnecks and the Memphis Showboats. Memphis had a 11-3 lead in this game. The Roughnecks score 15 points in the final frame, including the game-winning field goal to go up 18-17. The Memphis Showboats scored a touchdown with 18 seconds remaining in this game, but they were unable to convert the 2-point conversion to go for the win, basically at the horn. And then I don't think they were able to convert the 4th and 12 either. They end up losing this game 18-17. But this is a game where these two teams were fairly evenly matched. 238 yards for Houston, 260 for Memphis, 32 minutes for time possession for Houston, 28 for Memphis. Just pretty even across the board when you look at the numbers for both these two football teams. But I mean, Roughnecks just made one more play when they needed it. Nolan Henderson was very efficient in this game, 10 of 11 for 80 yards and a touchdown. EJ Perry had 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Complete percentage is kind of better than what you'd expect, 65% over there on him. But yeah, the Memphis Showboats just come up a little bit short as they're unable to convert that 2-point conversion.
One thing I'll say on this one is, honestly, again, I said this game won't be right for them, but it was like probably one of the most one of the most entertaining games of the weekend. The one thing I wish the XFL would do, I like the access that they give the fans. Can you give the players who score a touchdown just a minute to catch their breath before walk over?
Yeah.
And ask them what they saw on because EJ Perry scored, like he runs a touchdown and he is sucking air, he is gasping, EJ, what'd you see on that? And he's he's dapping up teammates, he's talking to a coach, and then here comes a sideline reporter like, EJ, what'd you see on that play? Like, no, give him 2 minutes to collect himself and go sit on the bench. Then you can literally ask him that question.
Well, I think that's one of the appeals, right, of the UFL. Like, it's this raw player emotion that you don't get in any other league, and I think that's one of their things, that they're calling cards.
No, like I said, I have no issue with the access. It's the timing of the access that needs to be fixed. Again, like, how are you going to ask a question, or what kind of answer are you really expecting to get when a player is literally gasping for air, trying to catch his breath, and you're at like, I'm not going to get the best answer from a player who literally just exhausted all of his energy on the field. And I get the reporters have a job to do. I really do, but timing, like, you have a few minutes before he has to go back out there and do it again. Like, but again, this game was the access great. The Houston Roughnecks coach is hilarious.
It's
if he sees somebody,
Shannon. Is it Shannon Harris? Is that the guy's name?
I have to look it up, but he like again, he's mic'd up. He's like if he sees somebody on the field, he's like, hey, who the hell put him in? Don't put him in no more. That was a call. He's like, don't put him in. Please don't. Like, that's hilarious.
Curtis Johnson is the head coach of the
Houston Rockets. Like that's hilarious to me because it's like again, coaches know their personnel, coaches know who can play and who can't play. And he's like, Buddy had no business being on the field, whoever he was talking about. I can't remember who he was talking about, but that was hilarious. And this is kind of what we were hoping to see out of Houston. Like, this is probably like their highest scoring output easily of the season, right? So far.
Yeah, they've been terrible. But I mean, you have to take a little bit with it. Memphis has been awful as well. So I mean, I don't know what you're gonna. What you really need to, I mean, a win is a win, but I mean, you had to get up the shine eventually. But
a win is a win for Houston, but that's the thing. Like, this game was 11-3, and Memphis was daring the Houston offense to figure it out. They were daring them to figure. Like, Memphis was perfectly fine with punting the ball away and saying, figure it out. My defense is better than your offense. I have no faith in you to figure this out. And Houston, they put together enough scores and enough stops. They had 120 yards combined passing. Combined. Anthony Brown was 8 of 15. Nolan Henderson was 10 of 11. The 10 of 11's fine. The 80 yards is nah. He's the one that threw the touchdown pass. And was this the one we saw? No, that was the Defenders game. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Right. But EJ Perry, 13 of 20. Troy Williams, 4 of 8. You're combined 17 to 28. Can live with that. You can't live with EJ Perry throwing 2 horrible interceptions. One of them was a pick six that kind of kick-started the Houston comeback. And I said this in the group chat because I'm really only talking to you because the other guys in the group chat don't watch the UFL.
Yeah.
As far as we know, the turnovers in like it's not just this game; it's across the entire league. The turnovers are like elementary turnovers, like
it's just like bad reads by quarterbacks and
comically bad.
Wide receivers not running correct routes. Like, well, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to the. It was showcased most in that Battlehawks Defenders matchup,
it was comically bad. Like, don't give me like fumbles happen. Like, I've never, in all my years of watching football, I have never seen a comically hilarious fumble to the point where it's like, what the hell were you thinking? Why are we shit like that?
That Will Levis fumble from last season.
No, like that they called that an interception because he like again that's an interception. He just throws it up and hopes it goes out of bounds and like we've seen fumbles where like a quarterback holds on to the ball too long and he just gets racked. He just gets rocked like that. But most of the time, what do we see? We see a player get stripped. You see the peanut punch, right? Like, it takes an extraordinary effort from the defender to jar that ball loose. On some of these interceptions, it's like, what the hell did you see? Or like, what was that you just sailed the ball to the other guy? And yeah, that one of those picks that Memphis threw was a pick six. That got him back in the game. That literally got them back in the game. Like, it was.
Yep. Yeah, they were up 9-11 at that point. That made the score. Or they were up 11-3 at that point. That made the score 11-9.
No, they
got the lead 15-11. Yeah, 15-11.
Like, Nolan Henderson throws the only touchdown of the game for Houston, so it's 11-9. Defense is ramped up, and I think that matter of fact, Memphis threw interceptions on back-to-back plays.
Well, the turnover battle, Memphis, they lost that 3-0, and that's how you lose a game you should win.
Yeah. Again, like it's comically bad. Like the interception was just comically. It's like wow. It's just wow.
Moving on from there, let's swing into Sunday afternoon football, and we got the San Antonio Brahmas going into Ford Field, the home of the Michigan Panthers, and they don't convert a last-second field goal to try to tie up this game. They fall 26-23, and they still can't get off the schneid as they fall to 0-3. Michigan looking like one of the class teams of the UFL. They're 2-1 now. This was an extremely entertaining football game, which went back and forth up until like the very, very end, as the Michigan Panthers pull off the victory here as they beat the Brahmas. I think this is their home debut. Kellen Mond got the start for the Brahmas once again. Better than his other two performances so far this season, but still not great. 19 of 31, 153 yards and a touchdown. Anthony McFarland, 754. Bryce Perkins, 17 of 23 and a bad interception. I believe a pick six that kind of let the Brahmas stay in this game. And then Jaden Sheridan, the running back for the Michigan Panthers, he had a really nice touchdown in this game, 43-yard, and it was just a beautiful house call. And then Bryce Perkins had 2 rushing touchdowns for the Panthers as they go on to win this game 26-23.
Yeah, read options on both of them.
Yeah.
No. No, I think one of them.
No. The Sherwin touchdown was just a straight up the gut run.
Yeah.
Like, and he just spun at like the perfect time and like.
I'm talking about Bryce. I'm talking about Bryce Perkins. His two. Well, first off, shout out to Destroying for. Yeah, this is his comeback season. Destroying was supposed to play in the league last season. Well, he did play.
He played one game, and then I think he tore his knee up or something.
No, broke his neck, like a broken neck or something like that. Comes back, he made 3 out of 4. I think he made, what was it, 30, 35, 55, and he made another one, and he missed a 53-yarder to tie it.
So he made a 36, 55, and a 33.
There we go.
In the first half.
And then he missed a 53-yarder with no time left. And I said it last week. Again, San Antonio is probably going to keep rolling out Kellen Mond because he presents them the best option to win with his mobility. You're going to need that. The passing, again, awful, 19 to 31.
I mean, it's not. I mean, compared to some of the other numbers in the
compared
to
the other,
terrible. And
right, 61%. Like that's, yeah,
it's not terrible. I mean,
you like you said, all things considered, you'll take 61. You take 61% passing right now. Again, still kind of early, but given that this is a 10-week season, you're kind of and it's unfair, but you're kind of hoping that the offense is kind of starting to shape up.
Yeah, I mean, that drive they had in the third quarter where he threw that touchdown pass to Anthony McFarland, like that was a perfect. Like the drive was like a showcase of what we saw in Kellen Mond in college and why people were pretty high on him coming into the NFL. Like the dude, he played awesome in that one particular drive. The rest of the game, leave a little bit to be desired because you thought you were going to build some momentum there, and you just never really saw that out of the Brahmas.
But the one thing I will give them, they were somewhat able to establish a run. This is San Antonio, 24 carries, 120 yards. As a team, that's 5 to carry. I know Anthony McFarland
averaged 7 of 54, 7.7 yards per clip.
29 of that 54 came on one run, and same thing with Michigan. Michigan was pretty much even. 27 pass attempts total to 27 runners.
Exactly even.
I was looking at Bryce Perkins. So he threw the ball 23. I'm like, when did Danny Etling get into the game? I don't remember seeing Etling throw a pass, but neither here nor there. This is again. Destroy missed the kick. He missed the kick.
Unfortunately, in football, games are won and lost on missed kicks every week. So that's tough.
Super tough.
But this was I thought this was a super entertaining game. Like,
Absolutely. I mean, again, like looking at the numbers, Michigan 313, total yards 313 to 257. San Antonio 11 penalties to 5. Right? Michigan only had 5 penalties. That's super disciplined. 22 first downs for Michigan, 17 for San Antonio. Michigan was 50% on third down, 6 of 12. San Antonio was 6 of 13.
I mean, across the board, these numbers are very even for these two football teams.
And here's another one. Red zone, 6 trips for Michigan, scored twice. Three trips for San Antonio, you scored once. So if you're San Antonio, you're looking at this like offensively we perform better, but this could have been a lot worse than what the final score indicates. Michigan, you're looking at that like, damn, we went to the red zone 6 times and we only scored twice. You're looking at it like we escaped, like we held on.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, like you don't even score on every time you win to like 2 out of 6 touchdown. What did you do the rest of the time? Must have been because they didn't kick a field goal in this game. I mean, they did kick that one, but I mean, so 3 of those trips into the red zone came up with no points whatsoever.
No points whatsoever. So you're looking at this like,
oh no, there's another one. So 2 of those 6 ended up with no points whatsoever.
Like, but it's certain teams in this league that like 2 of them we're gonna get to. Like, you can't come up empty against them. Like if you're Michigan and you get to the championship game, you're gonna be playing a DC. You're gonna be playing a St. Louis. You can't come up empty in the red zone against them. Those are teams that will make you pay for it.
And you got to think about it. If like these early game drives in the first and second quarter before Michigan really got ramped up on offense, before they scored their first touchdown at the end of that quarter, I mean, if you give up 3 touchdowns instead of 3 field goals, you're talking about being in a 24-0 hole as opposed to 9-0. So like this if you're Michigan, you got to feel like you escaped this game a little bit.
Yeah.
So to the final game of the weekend, we got the DC Defenders going into St. Louis and taking on the Battlehawks, and they win this game 27-15 as they basically dominated the final frame of this game. It's just sloppy play out of the Battlehawks go down the stretch here as they scored 9 points in the final frame. The DC did to win this game 27-15, and just not great quarterback play really on either side, but especially not out of the Battlehawks. Manny Wilkins, 19-29, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and all 2 of their interceptions were in the final frame that I remember vividly. Mm-hmm. It was like the Battlehawks were driving and building up a little bit of momentum. Bam, interception, overthrow by Manny Wilkins, and then the pick he threw at the end of the game to basically ice it was just the worst, like a terrible read. Like you never should have thrown it. The guy was not open, and it's just amateurish throw. Like you cannot make that decision. You cannot throw it there, and that iced the game. Jordan Tiama, on the other hand, yes, he got the victory, but it's just really not
ugly.
Yeah, three touchdowns, and even the final touchdown he threw to win the game was probably should have been picked or something. He just got lucky that it bounced into the air right into the wide receiver's hands. 3 touchdowns and 2 picks, 45% completion percentage. I would like to see this football team have a little bit more balance. I would like Jordan Tiamo shouldn't be throwing the football 37 times in a game you're ahead for a majority of it. Abram Smith was like the MVP of the league a couple years ago. Give him the rock. He's fresh.
Yes.
But they ran for 100 yards as a squad, 3.2 yards per clip. The defenders won, but I feel like the St. Louis Battlehawks let this one slip away. It was just bad execution down the stretch. They were unable to build momentum. Every time it felt like the Battlehawks were getting over the hump, Manny Wilkins to throw a terrible interception. Every time.
Or they didn't capitalize on so the one that did it for me was DC had a chip shot field goal that the kicker pushed, didn't make it. It's 18. This is after Rodrigo Blankenship makes
56-yarder.
to make it 18-15. DC gets the ball back, and they get into the red zone, right? And it's you get it like the defense holds, and then you hold them to a field goal, which he pushes. Again, it's 18-15. You get the ball back, and I'm thinking, St. Louis is going to do St. Louis things. They're going to go down. They're going to, they're going to take the lead on this. You never scored again. You had all the momentum in the world. You literally just cut the lead to 3. You got them to miss a field goal, and you didn't score again. And then, like you said, you threw 2 horrible interceptions by Manny Wilkins. Horrible interceptions. And it's like,
I mean, your final 3 drives of the game, where this game was still kind of in the balance, you go punt, interception, and I mean the man, it was really deflating about the first one. Like, they were driving, and like it felt like they had some momentum and moving the football, and then he just sailed. Like, I think the wide receiver may have ran the wrong route, because they had 2 wide receivers in kind of the same general area. It looked like the other wide receiver was supposed to go up the field. He just didn't. And this is also be a note for teams here in the UFL. Just don't burn your challenge in the first half. Like, there were a couple like plays later in the game, like that pass interference call in the end zone that basically set up the defender's touchdown to take the final lead of the game and basically ice this game away. If you could challenge that, I mean, it may have been pass interference anyways, but like in the first half, all that calls are so inconsequential. Like, or just give them 2 challenges, because I don't know, but.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like you have to, that's 100% on Anthony Beck. Like, you have to you have to be smarter with your challenges. Like, you have to know like what's worth challenging and what's not. My only advice,
because I think the play he challenged was a PI call. It like going down the stretch in the first half, like at the very end of the quarter, and I thought it was PI. So I don't know.
But again, it just wasn't a good challenge.
No, it wasn't. But
if I'm a St. Louis Battlehawks fan, I just got one question: why the hell can't we get the ball to Hakeem Butler?
Yeah, he didn't even have a target in this game.
Like what are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing?
Well, when your quarterback's only completing 55% of his passes, but for him not even have a target in this game is a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah, again, it's what are we doing? So
I mean, even if he's like triple covered, I'm gonna throw it in there at least once, see what happens.
It reminds me of the story that Gilbert Arenas, he's telling the story of when Russell Westbrook got traded to Washington. Gilbert Arenas has ties to the Wizards. So Russell Westbrook gets traded to Washington, and he's watching, like he's literally just watching the practice. He's not participating. He ain't suited up. He's watching the practice, David. He watches about 4 or 5 trips. Them go down and back, down and back, down and back. He just stops. He's like, hey, can I say something? Y'all know who this is? He's pointing to Bradley Beal. This is Bradley effing Beal, all-star. Y'all went down the court 5 times. He ain't touched the ball. I don't care what y'all do. Y'all priority number 1 is get him the damn ball. St. Louis, that's Hakeem Butler. Get him the damn ball. I don't care. I don't care if it's on end arounds. I don't care if it's on bubble screens. I don't care if you have to treat him like Deebo Samuel and line him up in the backfield. Do whatever you must to get one of your top playmakers the ball.
Yep.
You got it. Like it's because I think after we saw what he did last season, right? He was a man amongst boys. We legit thought he would get that call back to the NFL because he was just that dominant. Teams are starting to like realize like, hey, we're just gonna single high him. We're gonna put two over. We're gonna put one on him, one over the top, because they just have him line up outside. No, you have to move him around, move him to the other side, move him to the slot. Like I say, have him catch stuff out of the backfield if that's what it takes. Just get him the ball. This ended up being a bad day at the office for St. Louis because, again, it's 18-15. You have all the momentum. You kick a 56-yarder to make it a 3-point game, and then your defense holds them, and DC misses a field goal. It's still 18-15. You had all the momentum, and then you just crashed and burned.
Yep. Behind just a sloppy, terrible
quarterback. I don't know if you said this or not during the opening monologue to the game. Did you say St. Louis lost it more so than DC won it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I would agree with that. I think St. Louis lost this game more than DC won it.
But I mean, with that being said, I mean, DC had like basically double the total yards of St. Louis in this game. They had half the amount of turnovers that DC had. They won time of possession by nearly 11 minutes. So let's not get it twisted here. DC outperformed St. Louis in every metric. It just felt like St. Louis, they were given an opportunity to win this game. They just didn't take it.
That's that's what I'm saying. Like it was Jordan Tiama threw 2 interceptions, but Matty Wilkins threw 3, and the last 2
they were like
bad.
They were like at super opportune moments, like building, like you have momentum, you're driving on that first one, you're driving on that possession, you're like, you think you're gonna have, that's after the missed field goal, and he just sails that first pick, and then which kills that drive, and then you get the ball back with an opportunity to maybe drive down the field and get the game tying touchdown, because when it's 24-15, that game's not over. I mean, you score a touchdown, you get the 3-point conversion, and you get even if you don't get the 3-point conversion, you get the onside kick, you get another opportunity to tie the game, and they're just never even remotely close to scoring, because you throw a terrible interception in that drive too, and that seals the game.
And to your credit, I will give the defenders' defense a ton of credit, because what Abram Smith is to the defenders' run game, that's what Jacob Sailors is to the St. Louis run game, and he had 7 rushes for like 1 yard.
Yeah, I don't really understand their use of the running game in this.
Jacob Sailors could not run the ball, but to my Hakeem Butler point, you found a way to get Jacob Sailors in the game because he had 7 catches for 91 yards. So if you can do that for Jacob Sailors and Ja'Cory Pearson, you can do that for Hakeem Butler. Get Hakeem Butler the ball.
Moving on from week number 3, let's talk about week number 4. And we got 2 Saturday games for you to sink your teeth in for the UFL this week. Let's start first on Friday night. Showboats, Panthers, DJ.
Ew. I'm disrespectful.
You are. It's all right. Ain't wrong.
It's blame the sleep brain. So all right, so if you're Memphis,
taking the Panthers.
No, like if you're Memphis, you're hoping to capitalize off the offensive performance that you had a week ago, minus the pick 6, right? Like you were good up until you threw that pick 6, and then I'm taking Michigan at home. Yeah, I'm taking the Panthers. I'm taking the Battlehawks. I expect the Battlehawks to bounce back in a mean way, bro. Like these are 2 teams that had 2 bad losses. They had bad losses,
well, especially the Renegades. A game you're winning for majority of it, and then have that ripped out of your hands at the last.
Yeah, they had bad losses
in the last quarter. I'm taking the Renegades in that one. Actually, I have more faith right now in Luis Perez than I do whoever's going to be taking snaps.
Manny Wilkins. It's the Battlehawks. It's gonna be Manny. It's gonna be Manny.
I'm taking the Renegades in that particular matchup.
Give me the Battlehawks.
2 Saturday night football. We got the Stallions and the Roughnecks going into Houston.
This is not a good week of games.
I'm taking the Stallions, even though I haven't liked what I've seen out of Matt Corral. I have way more faith in that quarterback situation than I do at Nolan Henderson or Anthony Brown, whoever's going to be the starting quarterback for that to be.
I think they're gonna keep doing rolling out the dual QB.
I think so too, but I just haven't seen that work in any league. I mean, it sort of worked that first season for the Defenders where they had Jordan Tiamu and somebody else that they used to play a little bit in kind of tandem. But yeah, I'm taking the Stallions in that matchup.
Oh yeah. All right, until Anthony Brown provides any kind of threat, because he's not a threat in any aspect of the game. He's not passing the ball well. He's not running the ball that much better. Until he provides some kind of threat offensively, because right now they're predictable, right? Like if Nolan Henderson's in the game, you know what to pass. If Anthony Brown's in the game, you want that RPO option, but 9 times out of 10, because it's gonna be a run because his pass is not there. Give me Birmingham. I think Birmingham. I think this is like a 30-3, 30-6 type
Could
shit.
be. To the final game, we got the San Antonio Brahmas going into DC and taking on the Beer Snake and the Defenders. Brahmas coming into this one 0-3, Defenders 3-0. Man, they should really have this kickoff be like at 2:00 in the afternoon.
What time is it? Is it late?
5? But they're gonna have to go up against WrestleMania. Just same thing with Saturday too. But I'm gonna take the Brahmas. I think they get off the schneid in this game. This is going to be the game that they get off the schneid. I think the DC Defenders, I think they slip up against this Brahmas defense, which has been decent at time so far this season. I'm going to go with the Brahmas in an upset. TJ. Are you getting on the Brahmas bandwagon, TJ? Come on, Brahmas.
Brahmas in an upset. Oh, that's if you were a gambler, if you are a FanDuel person, which I don't even think you can bet on the UFL.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you
maybe not on
FanDuel, but every game.
Maybe not on FanDuel. I haven't
every game they have like that.
You have ESPN bet. You got air betting.
They have like a gambling analyst who's like periodically pops up.
Game what's the over? What's the under? Yeah,
I hate it. I kind of hate it, but I understand it is what it is.
Get full. Hey, that Brahmas pick that would be a sneaky bet too. Brahmas with the upset.
I mean, they have. You know what? Actually, I'm changing my mind. I'm looking at the
really.
Story by the Brahmas. I'll stick with it. Go Brahmas. Let's go. Go with Brahmas.
Come on, man. Hey, live by the sword, die by the sword.
I'm going Brahmas. They're gonna build on the momentum that they built up last week in that 3-point loss. Maybe they found something on offense. I doubt it, but we'll see.
I'm going to defend this as much as I don't like what Jordan Tiamu's doing offensively so far. It's the same thing. You scored more points than this was your highest scoring output for San Antonio this past season, and who knows what happens if.
It was more points than their first 2 games combined.
It's combined. Yeah, and obviously, who knows what happens if Destroying makes that last second field goal to send the game to OT. Man. So if you're San Antonio, who's quarterback in this one?
I mean, it's probably.
Or do they do it?
I don't think they have.
Oh,
I don't.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Kellum. I'm gonna go with San Antonio in the upset.
You're rooting for the Brahmas. Let's go, baby, in the upset. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us here for our Week 3 UFL recap, our Week 4 preview and prediction show. Thank you very much for joining us as we try to be the number 1 hub for all things UFL this season. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huppin. Right there is my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. And look out for that WrestleMania preview show. That's coming to you on Friday. So thank you very much, TJ. What do we do here at Prime Sports World, my friend?
We bring the heat, and we could use a little heat today.
It's true. After it was 70 degrees yesterday, it's like in the 40s today. So
it was. I don't think it got up there for out here, but I think it got to about like 60-ish up here. It was just like super windy.
Yeah, it was like that here too. But yeah, we'll be back here. We'll be back here later this week. Y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe out there, and please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. This is a quick message from our sponsor, the Huddle Sports Network. You have a good night, TJ. Finally, get some sleep, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Peace.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.